Hello everyone. Today I'm making an announcement that I wanted for everyone to hear that watches me. I am today going to be starting a new church. Um, I'm going to call it the Church of Rick, the Universal Church of Rick. We'll call it Church of Rick for short. And I'm going to be starting a new church, new religion. I'm asking you all to join up and follow me. I'm going to tell you about the requirements. First of all, we're going to follow the Bible. This is going to be the basic book, but we are going to be able to add things to this because as time goes on, this book is incomplete, and we will need to be adding some rules and things to make sure all of you do get to heaven. That's why you should join my church, is because if you don't join my church, you won't be going to heaven. Now, with my church, I'm going to have a few rules. If you don't follow these rules, you won't be able to get to heaven. But they won't be that hard to follow. So I'm going to show you now what the rules are going to be. First of all, you have to acknowledge me as the head of the church, of course. And you have to be obedient to me in everything that I say. And you have to be, anybody that I appoint, you have to be obedient to them. Do what they say. So as long as you're willing to do that, you're okay. The things that I say, if I make a special pronouncement, are going to be right. They'll be correct, so you don't have to worry about that. So if I say something and I say this is a special pronunciation from the Church of Rick, that will be a correct statement. You won't have to worry about whether I know what I'm talking about or if I'm speaking for God, because I will be. Okay. Now here's a few rules I'm going to have for all my followers. Well, actually, you're not my followers. You're going to be a follower of the Bible, but I'm kind of the intermediate person in between. You have to go through me to actually be able to understand this. I'll be the one interpreting the Bible, okay, for you. So don't try to interpret yourself. I'll be doing it for you, because I have a direct line with God that you don't have. Okay. First of all, I would like you to, this is really the most important one, number one, is to tithe 10%. This is how we're going to support the church. You can give back to God from what God has given you. So that will be one of the rules, is right off the top, you'll give me 10% of your money. Or I'm sorry, give the church 10% of your money. Then after you do that, then another rule is going to be you're going to have to be fasting on certain holy days, like, Good Friday or Easter or something like that. And certain holidays, Christmas, we're going to celebrate. You will need to go to church every Sunday and on holidays. You will confess your sins to me or to anybody that I appoint to hear your sins, and then we'll forgive them. And that means if I forgive your sins, God will forgive them. So you can be confident in that. So you need to do that pretty frequently, like every few months. Confess all the sins to me, and I will forgive them for you for God. Do good works to people. Okay, so we want you to do almsgiving, give money to the poor, and do good things for them. Pray frequently to God and to all the people that I say are saints. So if I say somebody's a saint, or you can pray to my mother. I don't think you would want to do that, but you might want to consider that. Anyways, pray frequently. Okay. And just, pray that you'll be saved, because you have to do all these things. Do penance for your sins. I'm not sure if I spelled that correctly, but it just means that, if you sin, that you have to can't just say you're sorry. You have to do something to make up for what you did that was wrong. No meat on Fridays. Observe all the sacraments. I'm going to be the only one that can administer the sacraments. So when you do that, you will need to be coming to me. Show respect for me in the sense that I would like you to bow down to me. And genuflecting and things like that. And go to communion frequently. That's one of the sacraments, but you need to do that in order to get to heaven. And I will be in control of communion, blessing communion, whatnot, so that it is the proper formula so that you can get to heaven. Okay, now I have some other things beside that that I would like you to understand. These are called like little extra things besides the sacraments that kind of help you get to heaven. One is this thing of beads. You can pray this prayers over and over again, and that will make God more inclined to let you get into heaven. This thing is a special thing. It's choking me. If you wear this and you die, you will automatically go to heaven no matter what else happens. You're in heaven. You have this around your neck. Okay, and they have we're going to have special symbols like this, so that if you pray to these things, these are plastic, but they have special blessings. If you pray to these plastic things, you'll be more godly, and me will be more inclined to let you get into heaven. Plastic things you can bury in your backyard to help sell your house, and other more plastic things, you can have hanging around your house, so that God will be there. If you have these things, it kind of gets God more inclined to be there. Candles, love candles. They kind of make you feel spiritual. Okay, so that's kind of the religion of Rick. There's a few other things I want to advise you on, because when you watch this, you're gonna say, well, is Rick the kind of guy we want to be following? So there's a couple of things I want to disclose up front about my religion. First of all, in the past, I have killed people. This is kind of by way of confession. Some of my followers have killed people who don't, like if they come against me and say my teaching is wrong, or they don't want to become part of the religion. I have been known to kill them. Now, the way I have killed people in the past is I burn them to death. So, however, it sounds terrible, doesn't it? The way that has happened way in the past, not recently. Okay, so even though that was done, I've had to stop doing that because people just frankly won't tolerate it anymore. So because I've been worried about some of my people going to prison for killing people and stuff, the rule of law, etc. We don't do that anymore. We do threaten people with hell. Okay, if you don't do things the way that I tell you to do them, you will go to hell. But I am not killing people anymore. Okay. The other thing is that more recently, I have been involved in sexually abusing people, and actually a lot of my followers, the people under me, have been sexually abusing teenagers and whatnot, using our position to kind of have sex with people. So this has kind of given us a bad name, and quite frankly, I'm against this. And the good news is I have been able to use your tithing money, your 10%, to pay people to keep quiet. So these people, that have been involved in these sex things, I, given the victims money and just ask them to keep quiet about it. Move the priests around different places, my followers. to different places so that they're not involved with the same people over and over again. But I did want you to know about these things because, quite frankly, these things are going to come out in the open. So it's okay though. You can still follow me. You don't even have to like the things that I do. You can still follow my precepts and you will get to heaven. And that is the truth. Okay. Now, I did put all this stuff on you on me, because it does give me that holy look. This is, when people look at me, you will know that I'm holy just by my clothing. So that's pretty much it. I encourage you all to join. It will be the best thing you've ever done, and it is the way to get to heaven. Now, there are a few dissenters on this that, like, for instance, in this book, there's a few things in here that make you uncomfortable, okay? Because they say things like, you shall know the truth and the truth will set you free. Now, after I've just told you all this stuff, I've told you it's the truth, and is that truth setting you free? I feel free. I think when you take all this on you to get salvation, you will feel free too. The other thing that troubles me about another saying in this book here is that if you do the right thing, in other words, if you're doing the right things in the Bible, you'll bear good fruit. In other words, good things will come out of it. Now, I think the good thing that's going to come out of it is that you're going to get to heaven if you do what I tell you to do. Now, I don't want you to look in the short term and see kind of like the bad things, like the sexual stuff and the fact that, you know, you have to do so much stuff and it doesn't seem to be really a burden on your life and whatnot. I don't want you to look at the long-term good effects. The good fruit is that you will get to heaven if you do what I tell you to do. So just interpret this in the way I'm telling you, because I do have the direct connection with God, so that I know what He wants in the right way for you to get to heaven. So don't interpret it, don't read this and interpret it yourself, or interpret it in any other way except the way that I tell you to, and you'll be good. Okay, so thanks everyone for listening, and you can email if you would like to join my church, and I'd be more than happy to take you on.